all of these big deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is, TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
I'm friends with the guy that started these schools, Steve Perry.
Yes.
He told me. And see, the thing about Diddy, he didn't make a big splash about it.
Breaking news, the Department of Homeland Security has just confirmed to CNN that federal law enforcement agents have raided properties owned by musician and producer Sean Diddy.
Everyone already knows Diddy isn't the man we thought he was. It's been a few months since the truth started coming to light, and a number of fellow celebrities are stepping up with the horrifying truth. So how did Steve Harvey, of all people, find himself right in the middle of the Diddy controversy? Well, when one man gets multiple lawsuits accusing him of rape, sexual assault, sex trafficking, and a reputation of parties that has a bit too much intimacy going on regardless of gender and age, all eyes will automatically turn on the people close to him. Not that they're wrong, Diddy's sons aren't doing much better than him. Not too long after the start of Diddy's downfall, controversies started surrounding his children as well.
New audio has surfaced as part of a lawsuit that accuses Christian Holmes, Sean Diddy Combs' son, of sexual assault. The music mogul is not accused of sexual assault in the lawsuit, but is included over allegations of liability and aiding and abetting. The lawsuit cites audio from a makeshift recording studio on the yacht where the alleged assault happened. This is the latest in a series of lawsuits filed against the rap mogul and businessman. Both men, father and son, deny the allegations against them. CNN national correspondent Camila Bernal joining me live with details on this. Camila, what more are you learning?
Hey, Fred, so in this audio that CNN has listened to, you can specifically hear the accuser who alleges that she was being forced to take this tequila shot that she believed was laced with drugs. And in the audio, you can hear her asking Christian Combs if she was being drugged, and he answers, "Take the shot." Now, just to put things into perspective, the accuser was a crew member on the yacht. She was a bartender, and she says that shortly after this incident with the shot, she says she was cornered in a room. She says things became aggressive and physical, and then says that Christian Combs forced himself on her, and then says that it wasn't until another employee on the yacht came into this room that the abuse that she is alleging in this 31-page lawsuit stopped. And she says it only stopped because that person came into the room. Now, I want to read part of what the accuser's attorney is saying right now. What he's saying is, defendant Sean Combs turned what was sold as a wholesome family excursion into a hedonistic environment. It resulted in an unexpected increase in workload for her and for her colleagues, as well as unwanted exposure to unlawful drug use, sex work, and general chaos. Now, why are they naming Diddy in all of this? And it is partially because he was leasing that yacht. Now, he is not accused of sexual assault, but he is accused in this lawsuit of liability and aiding and abetting because he was the one renting the yacht. Now, his attorney, or actually the attorney for both men, also speaking out and denying these allegations, saying this complaint is filled with manufactured lies and irrelevant facts. We will be filing a motion to dismiss this outrageous claim. Again, they have continued to say that this is something that they will fight, that they are innocent in all of this. So we'll have to wait and see how this plays out in court, if it gets to court or if it gets settled at some point, which has been the case with a previous lawsuit. But again, we'll have to wait and see what happens as Diddy and his son continue to say they're innocent, and the victims here continue to say that they were sexually assaulted, Fred.
And so while music mogul Combs isn't accused of sexual assault in the lawsuit, he has been accused of a range of sexual misconduct in other separate lawsuits. How might that play into this?
Yeah, as I mentioned, one of the lawsuits was settled, but there are others that are currently pending, right? And so there's a lot of the details that we've learned, and attorneys say that there's audio and video of these alleged crimes, or at least some of the alleged crimes. You're seeing some of those cases there. The one with Cassie was the one that was settled, but there are other ones that we'll still have to wait and see how they play out. And of course, we all saw just last month as Diddy's homes in both Miami and Los Angeles were the target of a federal investigation, and we saw that all play out on video last month. But again, it's important to point out that Diddy continues to say that he is innocent. They said this was a gross overuse of military level force, and they say that he is innocent and will continue to fight to defend his name, Fred.
All right, Camila Bernal, thank you so much.
Cassie Ventura was the first person to speak against her ex-boyfriend. The two first met when the singer was only 19 and Combs was 37. They began dating only 2 years after, but the relationship was far from what was shown to the public eye. Cassie filed a lawsuit in November 2023 in which she said that they only started dating after he aggressively pursued her. And the abuse didn't end there.
Earlier this year, Diddy's former longtime romantic partner, Cassie Ventura, accused him of rape, sex trafficking, and physical abuse. After Diddy settled that case, other women filed similar lawsuits.
That girl went through some tumultuous shit that she never thought that she would ever have to go through being in the music business. Do you understand that? I've been next to people who are top in the game, in the music business. And they had said to me, yo, I had to suck a lot of to get to this position. You understand? They have said that. So I can imagine what that little girl went through with old boy. She ain't lying that thing, because if she would have lied, he would have fought her tooth and nail. He would have fought her tooth and nail, bruh. Don't get it messed up, Art. He would have fought her tooth and nail. That little girl ain't lied nothing that. She ain't lied about none of that. Do you know what she's going through? She know what she's going to go through for the rest of her life? Her kids going to go back and see this on the internet?
Diddy didn't end up going to court with Cassie, but he still denies the allegations of sexual abuse and controlling behavior. Apparently, the fact that he settled Cassie's $30 million lawsuit within a day isn't any indication of the truth, and all other lawsuits filed and allegations made against him are just the money grabs.
Enough is enough. For the last couple of weeks, I've sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation and my legacy. Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear, I did not do. And he goes on to say, did not do this. Now, again, that was...
But the truth can't lie low forever. Cassie might have backed down, but she kick-started what can be considered one of the biggest controversies in celebrity history. Several women came forward after Cassie, all of them leveling the rapper with some hefty accusations, very similar to what the singer had described she experienced during her relationship with Combs.
Woman has filed as an anonymous accuser, as a Jane Doe, and filed it in federal court today. And it goes back to, her allegation goes back to 2003. And she says she was 17 years old at the time, but tells a very detailed, really harrowing story of meeting first the president of Bad Boy Records in Detroit when she was an 11th grader, but ends up on a private jet with him, goes back to New York, and then meets Diddy. What's different about this lawsuit is that she's included photos. Now, she's blurred her face. She's filing anonymously. But photos of her, she says, in the studio with Diddy back in 2003. And she says, yes, she walked in and there was a recording session going on. But when it ended, that's when the sexual assault began. And it is a really
Yeah, the allegations are absolutely horrific. She says she was 17. She was only in 11th grade at the time. Said she was taken from Michigan, as you said, to the studio in New York. And after that session was over, she says they plied her with drugs and alcohol. She became so inebriated she couldn't consent to anything that was happening. She went to a bathroom where she says she was raped by not only Diddy, but as you said, the president of Bad Boy Records at the time, Harvey, and a third person. So really, she describes a gang rape scenario where she said she ended up on the bathroom floor in the fetal position and has been so traumatized by.
These accusations are yet to make legal headway, but it's been reported that the police talked to the witnesses. And together with the other legal trouble Diddy is facing, consequences are at hand. The internet is not ready to let Diddy walk free, and some have noticed celebrities dropping subtle hints about Puff Daddy's interesting habits.
Motherfuckers be gay in Hollywood, you never fucking expected. They be having these big ass mansion parties, and the mansion party, the whole mansion is a party, and then it's a separate party in the little rooms. I ain't been famous that goddamn long. I'm excited than a motherfucker to be at the mansion party. You be looking in all the goddamn rooms, and you fuck around and look in the wrong room and shit. Nigga, come here, come here. Is that two niggas kissing?
A number of people have started to speak against him, and things aren't looking good for his future.
Activity that likely would fall within the parameters of sex trafficking. Several of these women claim to have been transported from one state to another and then drugged and assaulted. Or his former girlfriend, who claims to have been forced to perform sex acts with different people in different states.
Again, just really serious allegations that clearly rise to the level of criminal conduct if true.
Now, there are many other serious allegations in the lawsuit. We also contacted Diddy's attorney, Sean Hawley, for comment. She did not get back to us.
In March, federal investigators raided 2 of Diddy's mansions. Law enforcement confirmed that the several allegations filed against the rapper are part of the reason the raid happened.
Joining us now is former FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe. So, Andrew, the attorney's statement essentially says this all is based on information or, as a result of civil lawsuits. Is it common for civil lawsuits to spark interest of Homeland Security and launch an investigation?
Well, it's not uncommon for allegations in civil lawsuits to be considered by federal investigators and federal prosecutors and reviewed to determine whether or not a federal crime may have been committed. And that seems to be what happened here. I thought it was interesting that the attorney's statement really basically confirmed for the public that some of the investigative interest was likely generated from these lawsuits.
Federal prosecutors, as they often do, took a look at those lawsuits. They were able to speak, we're told, to at least some, if not all, of Diddy's accusers. And then they sent federal agents with Homeland Security investigations to go to his houses and to try and get corroborating evidence, because that's ultimately what they would need to bring a case.
Yeah, and you heard the rapper's attorneys using some pretty strong words, calling it a witch hunt. And you see the pictures. In a federal raid like that, a lot of that is standard operating procedure, but when you see the heavy guns and people's hands over their heads being cuffed, what more are his attorneys, what more is his camp saying about this?
Well, they're complaining about the tactics. They said it was militaristic, and they said it was needless. They said that Diddy was cooperative, spoke to federal agents. We're told that they were able to seize electronics, as you'd expect, devices in the homes, because they're looking for videos, photos, any mementos that he may have been keeping that would corroborate what accusers have said. If they said, well, I took a picture with him here at this place and he flew me on this jet here. They need evidence to corroborate that, and that's undoubtedly what they were looking for, and most of it's probably electronic.
They got to have probable cause in order to do something like they did that day.
It's a good point, and that tells you, I think, that they're confident in their case and that they were able to convince a judge that there was evidence in that home of potential crimes.
All right, Aaron Katersky, thanks so much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.
So while law enforcement talks about how Diddy is basically set to spend the rest of his life in jail, internet users want to ensure that no stone is left unturned and every person involved in this faces consequences that are long overdue.
National dignitaries. So there's a lot of people that could be caught up in the dragnet if those tapes get released. Just use your imagination. Diddy knew everyone, not just in the music business, but high society, politicians, and international elites. According to his former bodyguard's interview on Fox, there's a lot of people who need to be afraid of that
The aftermath leaves Steve Harvey as one of the people receiving extreme scrutiny under the public eye. After all, he's been friends with Combs for a long time and has shown to have a lot of respect for him. While talking about Diddy's Harlem charter school, Steve talked about how meaningful it was that the rapper gave up so much of his own money for this project and emphasized that this meant a lot to him.
And I think that really has to be understood of how much he was so serious about it. And Dr. Perry told me, he said, Steve, I tried to talk this guy into doing less because we could do it quicker. He said, no, man, the whole school. He put up a lot of his own money for this to get these kids. And that's why these kids, they're thanking him like this. And, you know, you ain't see no big story about it. Wasn't no USA Today. They ain't get on the AP wire. And no, they ain't nobody want to talk about that. Now let one of us do something crazy, and we the front page story of that. But somebody does something really rich and meaningful.
Now let one of us do something crazy. We the front page story for that. Yes, Steve. Something tells us that you'd make the front page for assaulting women, including minors, hosting gay parties dubbed freak-offs, and being neck-deep in crimes like drug abuse and sex trafficking.
The music mogul. They include multiple lawsuits involving allegations of sex workers, hidden cameras, and compromising recordings of celebrities and politicians. Now, all this was prior to today's federal raid. Fox 11's Gina Silva digging into that tonight. She's got the latest on those lawsuits. Gina.
Alex, Christine, this right here, it is the lawsuit. It is 75 pages of just shocking allegations. Many legal experts say the accusations are very similar to those of Jeffrey Epstein's case.
If you have read this complaint and seen the nature of these allegations, the raids aren't that surprising.
It's a 75-page complaint with explosive allegations of sexual assault, sex trafficking, and drugging of underage girls. The lawsuit was filed by music producer Rodney Little Rod Jones on February 26. It names Sean Combs, a.k.a. Diddy, his son Justin Dior, and several others. And it also includes photographs of bloody crime scenes, sex workers, and drugs allegedly administered at, quote, freak.
In the end, Steve's friendship with Diddy isn't the only reason people are turning against him. The rumors that he used his daughter to gain fame. Steve has talked about how he's very careful about the type of boys that date his daughters. If I spot a bad one, I get rid of them. I make no bones about it, so they're very careful when they bring them. You can think a person is wonderful, but everybody's wonderful in the beginning. Everybody, you always meet the mask. The mask can last for about 90 days, and then, after a while, the mask starts unraveling, and I just try to wait on that period. Sometimes they make it, sometimes they don't. Apparently, the father of 4 daughters who's very strict about who dates them thought that Diddy was an appropriate partner for his then 22-year-old daughter, Lori Harvey. Not only did he never make a comment on the relationship, but he seemed to approve of it. Lori and Diddy were spotted on a double date with Steve and his wife, Marjorie Elaine Harvey. Diddy was 49 at the time, meaning that the couple had a staggering age difference of 27 years. Better yet, this was in 2019, and very soon after, there were rumors of the model dating Justin Dior Combs, Diddy's now 30-year-old son. Needless to say, the internet did not have a good reaction to the dating rumors, and that was long before the Diddy scandal even started.
Problem with that? Not so much.
I wouldn't have a problem with that, but I'd be heartbroken if that was my daughter.
Yeah. And they're hanging out with Steve Harvey and her mom and everything else like that.
To each his own, But I would
think
feel
most
like I
fathers-
failed as a father.
I think
if
most
I'm sitting across
fathers-
from a table with a dude the same age as me that's dating my daughter.
Yeah.
I would feel like I failed.
Yeah.
Now, though, the rumors are getting much more serious. People are starting to speculate that Steve pimped out his daughter in an attempt to get the benefits that came with being an acquaintance of Sean Combs.
According to the lawsuit filed by Lil Rod Jones, Mr. Combs was known for throwing the best parties. Affiliation with and/or sponsorship of Mr. Combs' sex trafficking parties garnered legitimacy and access to celebrities such as famous athletes, political figures, artists, musicians, and international dignitaries.
These allegations are followed closely by wild news that Steve Harvey had an affair with Diddy himself. The feds have already made a list of all the people that were involved in the rapper's parties, and Steve is likely at the top of the list. One thing's for sure, when the video clips gathered from Diddy's home are released to the public, Harvey's career is as good as dead. As for what the father and daughter themselves have to say about the rumor mill working overtime, Lori stated that she never dated a father and son, and in the same interview, she also said that she hadn't even met the men the internet claimed she had dated. This was allegedly about Diddy, which goes against photographic evidence of her on a date with the rapper.
About you in the press, but I've always wanted to know, what is like the biggest misconception about who Lori Harvey is?
It's so funny because I'm so quiet.
Yeah.
There's been so many stories that have been made up about me. Like I've seen stories about me being like fully in love with somebody and we have like this whole relationship, and I'll see the guy and I'm like, I've actually never even met him before.
No.
Like full-blown stories I've heard. I've dated a father and son before.
Not true?
Absolutely not true. And I've even heard that I'm a lesbian at one point. So, you know, there's been a lot of different things.
You're
a lot of stories, a lot of misconceptions.
Does it entertain you?
Oh, I think they're hilarious. I love the stories. They're very entertaining. I will give them that.
Yeah.
Very entertaining, but I just let it roll up.
Neither has commented on the affair between Harvey and Puffy, though. Lori didn't comment on the rumors, even as she debunked the theories about her own dating life, and Steve has been suspiciously quiet on the topic. Guess we'll have to be a bit more patient. So much has already been revealed, and more questions will be answered once the feds get back to us on the video footage found in Diddy's houses. That's it for now. Don't forget to tell us what you think in the comments below. For more updates, hit the bell icon.